What if the next big geopolitical flashpoint isn't Taiwan, Ukraine, or the Middle East? What if it's an island with about 60,000 people, a lot of ice, and a location that sits right between North America, Europe, and Russia? Because Trump's renewed push to bring Greenland under US control is no longer a weird real estate headline. It's turning into a NATO stress test, with talk of economic pressure and even the idea of force floating in the background. Let's break it down. I'm Imran, and the big question is Trump's Greenland move a threat to the United States or a threat to America's alliances? First, what Greenland actually is. It's a self-governing territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, and Denmark is a NATO ally. Greenland is also strategically placed in a rapidly changing Arctic, where melting ice is opening new shipping routes and expanding military interest. And yes, the US already has a major footprint there, Pituffik Space Base, a key site for space and missile warning missions. So why escalate? Trump's argument has two pillars. One, security. He claims rising Russian and Chinese activity makes Greenland essential. But allied officials and researchers push back on the idea that Greenland needs to be taken to improve security, because the US can expand capabilities through cooperation with Denmark and Greenland without changing sovereignty. 2. Resources and leverage. Greenland has critical minerals potential, and as the Arctic opens up, access and influence become more valuable. So this isn't only about defense, it's also about positioning for the next era of industrial competition. Now here's the part most people miss. The real battlefield isn't a map, it's precedent. If a US president openly pressures a NATO ally over territory, Europe starts asking a new question. If Washington can do this to Denmark, what's the rule book for everyone else? That's why you've seen strong public backlash, protests, and the blunt message, Greenland is not for sale. So, is this a threat to the USA? In the narrow military sense, Greenland can strengthen US Arctic posture, but the US already gets most of that value through alliance access. The bigger risk is strategic self-harm, turning allies into hostages, handing rivals a propaganda gift, and weakening NATO cohesion at the exact moment the Arctic is becoming more contested. Bottom line, Greenland isn't just about land, it's about whether the US chooses alliance leadership or coercive leverage. If you want more breakdowns like this, no hype, just incentives and consequences. Hit like, subscribe, and share. And tell me in the comments, does this end with a deal for more US access? Or a long-term fracture inside NATO?